Today we're exploring one of the most debated and enduring cases in the study of reincarnation, the Pollock Twins. A story that begins with heartbreak in a quiet English town and evolves into a mystery that has fascinated psychologists, skeptics, and believers for more than half a century. This case is often called the strongest modern evidence for reincarnation. But is it? Or is it a story shaped by grief, memory, and the human need to make sense of a tragedy? Let's go back to where it all began. Hello.
Hi, hello.
I am Ashley.
I'm Denisha.
And this is
the Afterlife Hotline. Also, when did we start doing it at the same time?
I don't know. We just started doing it.
This is another one where I don't have to do shit.
This is an interesting one though, because whenever we were looking up topics to talk about for season 4, which we are now in, by the way. Woo! And how many episodes are we doing in season 4?
15.
15? Yeah. So this is numero uno. And one of the ones that I found very interesting was the Pollock Twins. So I did some research on them.
And I know nothing.
Which is good. And then at the end, I did find a few little Reddit stories about reincarnation. So it kind of goes along with that. Yes. John and Florence Pollock lived in Hexham, a small town in...
Wait.
What?
Hexham?
Hexham.
That was one of the other topics the Hexham heads and something else. The Hexham stones and the...
Oh. Yeah, because they live in Hexham. Hexham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder
Hexham.
if it's in relation.
Oh, we might have to do that one next since we're talking about this. Hexham, a small town in Northumberland, England. They were a devout Catholic family raising their 2 daughters, Joanna, born in 1946, and Jacqueline, born in 1951. The girls were extremely close despite their age difference. Joanna, the older sister, was described as mature for her age, nurturing and imaginative. She often played mother to Jacqueline. Jacqueline was energetic, affectionate, and a bit more anxious. She had 2 distinctive physical marks: a scar on her forehead from a fall when she was 3, and a birthmark on her left hip or waist. Keep these details in mind for later. John, the father, had long believed in reincarnation, a belief that clashed with his Catholic upbringing. Florence, however, the mother, rejected the idea entirely. But everything changed on May 7th, 1957. It was a Sunday morning. The girls were walking with a friend to church, excited for the day ahead. At the same time, a local woman, reportedly distressed and under the influence of barbiturates.
Barbiturates, yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Drug.
Like narcotics? Okay. Lost control of her car. She swerved onto the sidewalk and struck all 3 children. Joanna and Jacqueline were killed instantly. The Pollocks' world collapsed. Florence fell into a deep grief. John became consumed by the belief that the girls would return to him. He insisted that reincarnation was real. Florence insisted it was impossible. Their marriage nearly fell apart under the weight of their grief and their opposing beliefs. Now, a year later, Florence became pregnant again. Doctors told her she was carrying 1 child. But on October 4th, 1958, she gave birth to twin girls, Jillian and Jennifer. This was the first surprise. The second surprise came when the parents noticed that Jennifer, one of the twins, had a birthmark on her forehead in the exact location of Jacqueline's scar, and a birthmark on her waist matching Jacqueline's birthmark. Identical twins are supposed to share the same genetic markers, yet only Jennifer had these marks. John took this as proof that Jacqueline had returned. Florence still resisted the idea, but the similarities were becoming harder to ignore. See, I feel like part of me would want to believe that, but then also another part of me would be sad to know that that was my child reincarnated or whatever.
I also feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword, because is this your child? If it's your child from the past, yeah, sure, that's great, but also this is another human being.
Like you're taking the identity away from
Yeah,
them.
so do you proceed as the previous, or do you let them live their life?
Yeah, that's hard. So as the twins grew, their personalities began to mirror the deceased sisters. Jillian behaved like Joanna, confident, motherly, and imaginative. Jennifer behaved like Jacqueline, quieter, clingier, and more fearful. But the real mystery began when the twins turned 3. The Pollocks had stored Joanna and Jacqueline's toys in the attic. One day, the twins asked for specific toys by name, toys they had never seen before. When the parents brought the toys down, the twins correctly identified which toy belonged to which deceased sister and argued over them exactly the way Joanna and Jacqueline used to. When the family returned to Hexham after living elsewhere for a time, the twins pointed out landmarks. The school Joanna attended, the playground the sisters used to visit, the church they walked to on the day of the accident, and they recognized these places without being told what they were. One day, while walking through town, the twins became distressed as they approached a particular street. They said things like, "This is where the car hit us. The car came out of nowhere." That would be freaky.
Yeah,
At that point, you'd be like, what else do you believe at that point?
Yeah.
Like, because how would they know at however old they are that their sisters died from a car accident or a car hitting them? They were too young to have been told the details of the accident. Jennifer, like Jacqueline, was afraid of cars. She would cling to Florence when a vehicle approached. Jillian, like Joanna, acted like the older sister even though the twins were the same age. John saw all of this as undeniable proof of reincarnation. Florence resisted, not because she didn't see the similarities, but because she feared the implications. She worried that believing the twins were reincarnations of their deceased daughters would prevent her from seeing them as individuals. Yes. The tension grew so intense that the couple nearly divorced, but the evidence kept piling up. The case eventually reached Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia who spent decades studying children who claimed to remember past lives. Stevenson visited the Pollock family multiple times and documented the case in detail. He noted the birthmarks, the personality parallels, the early childhood statements, the recognition of places and objects, and the twins' behaviors that matched the deceased sisters. Stevenson considered the Pollock twins one of the strongest cases he had ever studied, but he also acknowledged that the parents' beliefs could have influenced the children, though he found no evidence that the parents intentionally coached them. I don't know about that, because like if they didn't know anything about the accidents, then
yeah, well, and then
how would they know
also
that?
only one parent was like full on believing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I can't see that, because I wouldn't see him talking to them as if they were the previous children without the mom getting upset about it
For sure.
and then causing a rift. So I don't know. I don't think that they,
Yeah, I don't think they coached them at all. I think it.
I mean, it sounds very reincarnated, not
Yeah.
like just for, the sake of it.
Yeah, for sure. And skeptics will argue the parents may have unconsciously influenced the twins. Children are highly suggestible. The birthmarks could be a coincidence. The twins may have overheard conversations about their deceased sisters. Memory is unreliable, especially in early childhood. Some psychologists suggest the case may reflect cryptomnesia, forgotten memories resurfacing in new ways.
Never heard of that before.
I haven't either. Others argue that the parents' grief created an environment where the twins absorbed information without realizing it. I don't know about that. And believers point to the precise birthmark locations, the personality parallels, the early statements about the accident, the recognition of places and objects, the fact that the twins' memories faded at the same age as the other documented reincarnation cases. And to them, the Pollock twins represented compelling evidence that consciousness may continue beyond death. Where the case stands today. More than 60 years later, the Pollock twins remain one of the most discussed reincarnation cases in the world. It sits at the intersection of psychology, spirituality, and mystery. Is it proof of reincarnation? A remarkable coincidence? A story shaped by grief and memory? The truth may depend on what you already believe. But one thing is certain, the Pollock twins continue to challenge our understanding of identity, memory, and what it means to be human.
See, okay, so I think it's reincarnation for sure. I can
too.
see where like the psychological, like the unintentional part of it could happen because they could be taught, like the parents could have been talking about it without the kids knowing, or without them realizing the kids were around. There could be like little blips of like the past children that they can analyze, because kids, I mean, they're kids, but they're smart.
They're sponges.
But I don't think that that would have pushed it as far as it went. Maybe a couple of things like, you know, saying, oh, this is this location, or this is my toy, but knowing exactly where the car was when they died, being afraid of the cars, having the exact same marks from the previous child, like that's not something I feel like can be overlooked and like rationalized beyond reincarnation.
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's just too many similarities between the two.
Especially with the roles that they took. Because even the one, like, it could be one thing, like if the one that had the markings wound up being the motherly one, like then okay, maybe it's got something to do with like the environment they're around, but the fact that each role was apparent in each child the way that it was
with the previous children. Yeah, no, I 100% believe that it's reincarnation, because I mean, even today there's a lot of kids that, and parents have talked about, like I've seen a lot of TikTok videos where parents are like, yeah, my child said that he was this person from this war and this time and whatever.
And then they'll find like documentation about that person.
Yep.
That's crazy to me also. Like I couldn't imagine like being reincarnated. Like I hope that I would get reincarnated, hopefully in a better world. But I couldn't imagine remembering my past life and remembering who I was.
Yeah.
Like that's gotta fuck with you so hard.
And I think that's why it seems like those memories start to fade after you're a certain age. Which I think personally, you're not supposed to remember those things. Just because my personal beliefs is like you're here for a lesson, and you choose the lives that you know that you're living to learn a certain lesson, and you're not supposed to remember the life that you had before. And because I feel like you said, that would really fuck with you if you remembered your life before, because you're not going to be living the life that you have now, because you're just going to be like, holy shit, you're going to be trying to like comparing both lives all the time. But I think that's also the same as why kids have a lot of paranormal experiences, is because I feel like since they're so young, they're still very close to the spiritual world.
Yeah, and they're a lot more open, I feel like, too, without even knowing.
Yeah, and at that point, they haven't really been too influenced by anything and stuff like that, so.
Well, because it does remind me, too, of Dracula Untold, which I don't know what year it was released. It's the one with Luke Evans in it. Very nice man. He's Gaston in the live action Beauty and the Beast. Anyway, a lot of the Dracula stories, they revolve around reincarnation, because he's waiting until his wife gets reincarnated so that he can, you know, come back to her and stuff like that. And in that one specifically, after the whole movie happens, spoiler alert, in modern time, he finds his wife reincarnate, and without knowing it, she and him connect, and they wind up, like, the movie ends with them walking away together so that they can like start to learn each other. And so like I feel like if reincarnation were to happen, like that's kind of how I would want it to happen, where I don't remember, but I feel so familiar with whoever I'm with.
Yeah, and that's why I also, and I want to eventually do an episode on this too, because like how I read the book Journey of Souls, and how he does the hypnosis with the reincarnation and stuff like that, or past lives, and that's why I feel like personally with every life that you have, that you're always going to be around the same souls. It's your soul family. And like Denisha could be my mom in a next life, or she could be my sister in the next life, or brother, or partner, or whatever. It's like the souls that you're with in this life, like your family members, your friends, the people that you're close to, that you have that really good connection with, I feel like they're going to be with you in every life that you have, if that's
in a different form.
Yeah, that you're always just going to be with them.
But while I agree with that, something that just popped into my mind is like, how does that allow for new lessons?
What do you mean?
If you're not having new people come in?
Well, I think that you will have new people come in, but at the same time, like it's the same soul, but it's going to be a completely different person, if that makes sense. And so with a new person or a new meat suit life, it's going to come with new lessons. So whereas like you're my best friend in this life, in the next life you could be my mom, and you're going to, even though it's the same soul, you're still a completely different person. And so you're going to have the different, and I mean, you're still going to meet other people along the way. It's just, I feel like those people that stick around, that are like your people, those are my personal belief is those are your soul people, and they're going to be with you in every life. So like Chewie could be your son in the next life, or your daughter, or whatever.
What do you mean this is my son?
Human son in your next life.
Dear God.
I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying though.
Okay. Let's see. I have 3 little Reddit stories of reincarnation. This one is, I never believed in reincarnation until I couldn't explain what happened. The day I brought my daughter home from the hospital, my cat passed away in front of me. I walked through the door holding her carrier. I had to read this a few times to realize she's talking about the carrier of her baby, not the cat carrier. My cat came out like he always did, meowed 3 times, walked up to me, and collapsed. The vet said it was a massive heart attack. Instant, no warning. I didn't think much about it later. Life got busy, no sleep, new routine. Then, my daughter started doing things that felt familiar. She uses my ear and my face to comfort herself. Always has. That's exactly what my cat used to do when he wanted attention. She also follows me into the office and sits in the same spot that he used to sit. Same corner, same quiet stare. Then she wants to be held. One night, she wouldn't stop crying. I was exhausted and half asleep. Without thinking, I said my cat's name out loud. I guess something just triggered me to say his name because at night he'd cry until I said his name. She stopped immediately. I don't know what that means. I'm not saying it's reincarnation. I just know my cat always followed me everywhere, and now my daughter does too. To me, it feels as if his soul was passed on as soon as it found a new host. The main thing is we tried for 8 years to have a kid, and while we became super depressed, this cat showed up and brought us happiness. If it truly is reincarnation or something else, I'd love to know. The cat was the best cat I'd ever known. Oh, but that also kind of goes into like the whole thing where they say that your pets are basically your children that just couldn't find a human.
Bodies.
Yeah. If y'all haven't heard that before, I've heard where your pets are basically little souls that were supposed to be your children, but they couldn't find human bodies to go into, so they found the closest thing that they could be to you at that time. What?
I'm trying to think of, I had Chewy before I got my surgery. Yes. Yeah.
Did you have hash brown before your surgery?
I had to have, because we got Chewy in February. My surgery was in January. Did I have Chewy before my surgery?
I think you did, because I remember you saying he was like trying to like crawl on you or something.
And I had to be really careful. My surgery was... Oh, God. When did we get Chewy? Now I'm trying to figure... Sorry, I'm curious now.
Because you had your surgery while we were in Cabot.
And we were at the sofa
buff.
And I had the surgery while we were at the soap factory.
Also, note to self: don't get these little rubber cases because it picks up every single fucking dye from the leggings.
Okay, so I had my surgery in January of 2025. Yeah, I had both of them. We had both of them before I had my surgery because I had Chewy in 2024.
Well, I mean, they could still technically be children because at that point, you know,
I wasn't sterilized.
Well, they could have also known that you did not want
Yeah. Well, and then
human children.
And then also I would go above and beyond to make sure it didn't happen.
Yeah. And so it's like
they would have had an option.
Yeah. Even if you, like, your body was able to have children at that point, you know, if you're setting those boundaries and you're like, no, I don't want human children. They could have been like, all right,
what a fucking coincidence that would have been, though, if I got them after the surgery.
Yeah. That would have been crazy.
Like, that's low-key. That's why I was looking, because I'm like...
I saw you really over there. You were racking your brain like, hold on. What the fuck?
But they also came in, not even a whole year before I had my surgery, because I got him in February of 2024. My surgery was in January of 2025. So if you think about it, you're pregnant for 8 months, and then we got Hash Brown shortly after we got Chewy. So
yeah.
I don't know. That makes me feel like I lucked out, because I would have been likely to have the twins, because Chris is a twin.
Oh, I forgot about that. See, now you have 2 boys.
Yeah. And it's very much where Chewy is like me and Hash Brown is like him.
Oh, 100%.
It would have been very scary in people, though. And little tiny people, oh dear.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Okay. This next one is, my daughter described the reincarnation of my grandmother. My grandmother passed away about 6 weeks ago. I live about 200 miles from my family and pretty busy with school and raising my 2.5-year-old daughter. I decided it was easier to leave her home with my husband and just go to the funeral myself than it would be to try and take them with me. Despite the distance, I have tried to make it down often to see my family, so my daughter knows her great-grandmother really well. I've tried to explain to her that she won't see Grandma again, that she did pass away and she's in heaven, etc. I'm in favor of being age-appropriately honest with children, and I'm not just going to sweep my grandmother's death under the rug and pretend she never existed. That's good. My father came up yesterday for a quick visit and brought some of my grandmother's things for me. It was a lot of stuff. This morning, I was going through it and organizing it. My daughter was curious about the new stuff, so I gently explained to her again that they came from Grandma's house and that she had passed away, which meant we wouldn't see her anymore. I asked her if she understood, and her response stopped me in my tracks. Yes, she said. Grandma died and went away, and now she's a baby. We're not very religious, and as far as I know, she has not been introduced to the concept of reincarnation. She then picked up a marker, explained to me that Grandma now had a red puppy, and drew a picture of it for me. She also told me that grandmother lived in a small house, still lived in her mommy's tummy, and that she had 2 happy parents. I have no idea what to think about all this. Edit, she also told me that Grandma was now a boy. Wow.
I mean, it makes sense with kids being closer to that kind of stuff.
Now, I picked this one because I thought you would enjoy it.
That's scary.
Reincarnation of David Bowie's friend. So I was in Mexico with my dad's friend and his wife. We were talking at dinner when a conversation came up with the paranormal. While my dad's friend was at the bathroom, his wife was telling me a story. So they have 2 sons who are quite fun to play with. They weren't in Mexico with us, though. She told me a story about when her youngest was really young. He used to love David Bowie music. This isn't weird because all babies have their jams.
It's good music.
Right. It was weird when he began to talk. She told me when they were watching TV, he noticed David Bowie and turned to her and said, "That's my friend. That's my friend." What's even stranger is when David Bowie passed away, she said he cried for weeks and weeks when he found out that he had passed. I was completely dumbfounded. What a literal coincidence this happened. I just noticed him a few days ago, and he had a weird hairstyle that could be something you would find in a freaking 80s or find in the freaking 80s or 90s. What the hell is happening? Anyway, hope you guys like the story. Feel free to share your thoughts down below.
I mean,
I thought there was going to be more to that story than that. But like, who knows? He could have been friends with David Bowie.
Yeah, he could have very well been. And I feel like David Bowie would have been one of the first people to believe in reincarnation and stuff like that, because he was very much like not of this world, and he knew he wasn't. He also at one point in his childhood or teenage years, and I saw this in an interview, he thought he was a mime trapped in his own body. And so like he refused to speak. He would just like mime everything.
The intelligent man that he is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But yeah, what do you guys think about reincarnation and stuff?
It's very interesting. I find reincarnation so wild to me, because like the thought of it just blows my mind, but it also makes so much sense at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Like, my cousin, her mom, she had cancer and she battled cancer for a while, Angie.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed away. But before she passed away, since she had cancer for a little bit, she lost her hair came back. Her hair was like kinky curly, like curly cues. And she passed. My cousin, I think she's married, but they have 2 daughters. Her first daughter that was born after her mom had passed was born with kinky curly hair, and they named her Angela after her mom. And to me, that could just be a coincidence, but I don't know. I personally low-key think that it's possibly her mom came back as her daughter, because the first child that she had after that was a little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be because it's a little girl, but I know that she has kinky curly hair because her dad is mixed, but still, like, that's insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. There's just little things like that just make you go, So, I 100% believe in reincarnation. 100%. Whether it's humans, animals, whatever. Like, there was the, what was it? That one story that I told you, how the person was playing Sims.
Oh, yeah.
And their dog had passed away, and like all of a sudden this dog shows up in their Sims game that literally had the same exact name, just spelt differently, and looked exactly like their dog that just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that I would have been freaking out, because that's a game. I would have been like, what the hell? But yeah, I don't know. I believe in it. Do you guys believe in it? Do you guys have any stories of reincarnation or any thoughts? And if you do, you can send them to the Afterlife Hotline at gmail.com.
Or comment on this video.
Yes.
Or comment on
any of the socials. DM us on any of the socials that you're able to DM us on. Yeah, because I would like to read some spooky stories, some paranormal stories. And, yeah.
Also, welcome to season 4.
Woo! I'm so excited. We have some cool topics to discuss this season.
I feel like out of everything we've made so far, this is probably going to be our best season.
I think so. We have a whole outline and everything. I'm ready.
Same.
I'm ready. Bring it. But yeah, with that being said,
keep one foot in the living world
and one ear on the line.
Bye.